Forget him. Mark wanted to use another word that started with F, but the children were in the room. No, I mean he's still breathing. Mark was shocked. He put his finger on the Cretan's neck and found a strong pulse. He thought he'd killed John, but evidently he'd only knocked him out. Mark was disappointed he hadn't finished John off, but he'd have to figure out what to do with him later, as right now he had to deal with the horde coming from the church. Dad, there's a roll of duct tape in the kitchen. Can you tape him up before he comes to? Jess, you cover him with my .45 until he's secured. Mike, run back to Gunny and get the grenades and bring them to the command post. The rest of you get your rifles out of the safe and meet me at the command post. Jess, you stay with the kids. I will not, Jess said. You're going to need every gun you can to fight John's buddies. Mark knew she was right, but he didn't want to put their baby at risk. Look, we can't afford to take a chance on John getting away again. Then your dad and I will lock him up in the shed. All right, just do it fast, Mark said over his shoulder as he ran toward the kitchen to retrieve his rifle. Mark raced out of the house and down to the command post. When he got there, he saw that Ralph had set up a good defense around this command post. He called all the men and told them to go inside the converted garage so he could explain to them what was happening. Then he took a quick peek into the clinic to check on his son. Lisa was standing over the young teenager. Hey, Bubba, you hanging in there? He asked David. Yes, sir, the young man responded. It only hurts a little. Mark could tell he was lying. He looked at Lisa. Take good care of him for me. He's going to be fine, Lisa said reassuringly. Mark didn't know if the reassuring tone was for him or for David. He wanted to tell Lisa he was sorry about her father, but he didn't know if she knew yet. He certainly didn't have time to tell her what had happened and deal with her emotions right now. Mark walked out of the house and into the garage, where Olga had some bad news for him. Mark, Billy and his boys are pinned down. He said they were ready for him, and they got him in a crossfire. One of his guys is dead and one's wounded. What are we going to do? Crap, Mark thought. What else could go wrong? Where is he? He asked out loud, trying to sound like it was no big deal. Olga pointed to a spot on the map. Best I can tell, he's around here. Mark tried to think faster. He couldn't leave Billy hanging out to dry, but they had to stop the mob coming to destroy the subdivision. He couldn't personally do both, and his first priority had to be the subdivision. He'd have to send someone else to help Billy. He looked around the room. The men around him were mostly older and less trained. Billy was almost a mile away, and there was no way any of these guys could run that far with rifles. He could send a few of the younger guys off the corner where the diversion was, but who would lead them? Could Mike do it? With a trained crew, he might be able to, but most of the young guys only had training for guard duty, and they didn't know Mike well enough to trust him. It would take a tight-knit group who knew how to move quickly and quietly, one that could run the whole way with rifles and ammo, a group whose members trusted each other implicitly. If only Jim were here with his scout team, they could do it. The answer hit Mark like a ton of bricks, but he didn't like it. He made himself run through the options again, hoping for a different solution. There wasn't another one that stood half a chance. He swallowed hard and spoke, hardly believing the words coming out of his mouth. Olga, where are Letty and Chris? They're down at the corner helping the guards. We'll get them back here. I'm sending you three and Mike to help Billy. What about me? Mark turned to see Jess walking into the command post with her rifle. I need you in the command post to coordinate our defenses over the radios. That's bullshit. Look, Jess, I don't have time to argue. Good. If Billy's in trouble and you're sending Olga, then I'm going. I'm on her team, and Gunny taught us to stick together. Mark wanted to protect his wife and their unborn child, but Jess was right. The mission stood a better chance with her. Okay. Olga, you five are going to have to haul ass, cross the road, and stay out of sight. When you get to where Billy is, get in position and put one of the groups that has him pinned down in between you and him.